This is not the time to be sad. Like, the tears have been cried. I'm done with that. Hi, my name is Zari. Welcome back to my channel. We're going to be getting real in this episode. If you could not already tell, I just feel as if I cannot move forward with my content creation journey or just releasing videos without addressing something. I don't like to suffer out loud. If I'm going through something, I'm going to go through it quietly. And that's what I did for a few years. So now I'm going to finally talk about it because I have to address it. It's a real issue. It does happen a lot. My situation is not even like one of the worst ones. So I just feel I have to be real and address like everything I went through so I can move on and not just make everything seem in my life as like if it's like perfect, because it can seem like that. And I don't want people to feel like everything goes as planned and everything will just be great, because that's not always the case, and it wasn't even the case for me. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of like jump into it. To start off, no, you will not like see too many videos of me from that time. I believe I've deleted most of them. They're gone. Like, even on my regular phone, like those pictures, it's nowhere to be seen. It's gone, cut. I'm still gonna talk about it from my recollection. If you know me, you know my social media, you've been following me, you see me dancing, or not really dancing, but I'll put like post cute stuff in the outfit. I'll post pictures, memes, yada yada, whoop de whoop. I'll post the vlogs from the meets. But what you probably didn't see is when I was literally breaking down, crying, when I was distraught, when I was going through stuff with coaches. That's what I'm gonna say. And let me make a disclaimer right now. I'm not gonna call anyone out by name. And obviously people will know like the programs I went to. This is not to cast blame on anyone. I've forgiven everyone because I just couldn't have it on my heart anymore. So I gave it up to God. So that's where I am with that. So this is not to blame anybody. This is not to attack anybody. This is not even to get views. I just want to be honest so I can move on with my content creation and my videos, because it needs to be addressed. Okay, let me tell y'all when it started. So this all started in my sophomore year, fall 2021, spring 2022. That is when like all of this happened. And that was when I was at my former school, and that school was like one of my dream schools. So for that to happen, it was sad, I'm not even gonna lie. I denied it for like the longest. I didn't think that I was actually going through stuff like the way I did. I just really want to share my story so it can inspire others to know they are not alone, and also warn others of what they may face in collegiates. Now, with that, this story, like, I could not tell this story for years. And I say years, it happened like 2 years ago, it's 2024. But to me, it feels like a lifetime ago. I'm so different. Like I said, most of the videos are deleted, but if the videos were still up, you would probably see like how different I act in like social media and stuff, how I present myself, how open I am. And it's crazy because like I've always been a shy girl, like I've been reserved. And yet like I make social media videos. That situation definitely played a part into who I became, like the woman I've become. It was a terrible experience, but it has made me want better for others, made me want to do what I'm doing right now. Like let it be known, like let my story be known, let people know they are not alone. And just be honest, because I went through the struggle, not alone. I had good people with me and my family, obviously, but I internalized so much stuff, and that is never healthy. So if you are internalizing stuff or going through something that seems similar to this, get out, talk to somebody, make sure you're good. I can finally talk about this now with y'all because like I won't cry talking about it. This is not the time to be sad. Like, the tears have been cried. I'm done with that. First off, when I started track when I was 10 or 12 years old, young. I used to do gymnastics since like I could walk. I did gymnastics and dance when I started when I was 3, so you know that's all I was doing. And then come 5th grade or so, I got into track because it's what my dad did, and he wanted to wait until I was old enough to do it. Active, very active child. And then once I got, not even high school, in 7th grade, I was on a relay team that won a state title. Then 8th grade, I do believe I won something. My freshman year was my first year winning my own individual state title. I don't know, probably sophomore year is when, or maybe We probably will list the facts here, but I ended up winning state titles with my team. Hillcrest High, shout out, Hillcrest High, we won a state title. We won 4x1, 4x4. Or maybe we didn't win. I don't know. We was winning a lot. So it's hard. It's kind of shifty. All of my state titles was in the 400, but I did do the 100, 200 and 4x1. Some years I didn't do the 4x4. I think like it just wasn't necessary for me. And then obviously I am a COVID baby, not a COVID baby, but a COVID senior. Okay. So I did not finish out my senior year, I believe. We went on COVID, so nothing was done. Now in high school, I was still going, like I was going to the major national events. I was invited overseas to run at Cuba. I never tried out for the Team USA team in high school, so that never happened, but I did place at nationals a few times, just like AAU, USATF, whichever one. I would win the state titles at AAU, USATF, whoop de whoop. So I've always like had big dreams, big goals, and it never really got to my head. I was rough looking, so why would I be like, oh, I'm just, I'm her, right? That was never me because it was like I was too shy to do that. The girl like I dress like I am now, that like younger me, never. She would only dream about that. I started University of Houston my senior year. Now I visited like several schools and Texas Tech was one of them actually, but I wasn't really feeling it at that time. Like COVID hit, fall comes, and now we're in fall 2020. Sophomore year, I mean no, freshman year, if you can imagine the typical freshman year stories, that was my life, you know. But we're not even finna get into those story times because that's gonna be a whole that's a whole nother thing. But I definitely got a freshman experience. I was in Houston. We got a freshman experience. COVID lockdown, we did not know her, It's a lot of people we do not know. I was connecting with everybody. I finally felt like I was coming into myself. I liked the girl I was seeing in the mirror, because like I said, I had a glow up a few years prior to me coming into college. So I was finally starting to feel good about myself. Was I like fully feeling myself? Like I'm not, I don't think so. Well, maybe a little bit. I can't even lie. Maybe a little bit. I started feeling myself then, but still shy girl, didn't talk much. Like, I would only talk if you talk to me. Like I wouldn't go out to talk to you, but I am social. Like I'll be around and be with people. I'm just not gonna be talking. That's like who I am. So starting to come out my shell more, meet new people, get involved a little bit on campus and that. Now track season come around in January. Things was like really clicking. Things were going good, but it still wasn't like enough. We were trying to get our indoor 4x4 to nationals. It did not work out, y'all. It didn't work out. But we transferred into outdoor and things were still like pretty good. And I was running fast. I was doing 4x4, 4x1, 200, 400, and I did a 100, but it was like one or two of them. It wasn't too much. Like I just like mainly do the 4x1 for my speed training. Went to conference. I think I did okay, but it wasn't like I did anything crazy good. I just did all right. But for a freshman, it was good. Freshman year, we won. The women did not win indoor. The men won indoor, but the women did win outdoor, and we won it with the men. So that was a good experience. As a freshman, you're winning. The 4x4 I was on also medaled, and I think I ran pretty good on that. And after that is regionals. Like if you know track is regionals. So regionals came up, and regionals, it was so good. We made it out. We were like one of the last few people in because it's like top 3 or something. So we were like one of the last few people to make it, and I was happy, like I was elated, and I did vlog that. I don't think it's up still, but I vlogged it. We were happy, things were up, and I went to nationals my freshman year. Freshman year, went to nationals. It was in Oregon. We didn't make it out of the prelims, but it was still like a good experience, and I was an alternate for the 4x1, but I didn't run on that. So that, oh wait, no, not quite done with freshman year. After nationals, I did get invited to run in the Bahamas. So I went there, me and my mom, we went out and I ran, and then we made a vacation out of it afterwards. Now that's a wrap on freshman year. Address like another thing, academics. Academics has always been a big thing to me. For me, like I've always been involved honor society, advanced classes, college classes in high school. So grades to me are very important, and I've always had like I had big dreams for running. I've had big dreams for college, and I knew I wanted to finish early, start my master's and go to law school. Like that's always been my plan, but certain things in that plan has been changed, swapped out, whatever. Sophomore year comes. Things are good. You know, I was expecting to get back to it, get into the groove of things, see how I can get better, faster, all that stuff. Something had happened, and I don't want to speak too much about it because it's not my story to tell, but my coach had to take leave. The coach who had coached me, he had to take leave. And our volunteer coach, she rose up and started to coach us. This was a lady that we've all known, and she was helping us the year prior, like all my freshman year. We would go to her, we would laugh, she would be there to support us. I trusted her in the beginning, and it's like when you trust someone, you are putting so much faith into them. You don't want to believe that they can do something bad to you. I'm not really one to disrespect my elders, so I never wanted to come from that place. I never cussed this lady out. Like, I'm gonna say that. I never cussed this lady out, regardless of all the things she's done. But like, this was a lady I trusted and I confided in, wanted to like believe she'd be getting me better. But it was not the case for me. Like, we were getting broken down and it wouldn't stop. Like, there was no building us back up. It was just running us into the ground. So every time we come into practice, it's like the workouts, they're not really helping us. We're not being heard as athletes. Like, you're not seeing how it's affecting us. You're just saying, go harder. And that's like how most coaches are in athletics. It's necessary to make somebody better. But what she was doing, it was no relief from how hard we were getting drilled. This was a lady that we were cool with. And like I said, this is only my story, so I'm speaking from my point of view, but I may be saying we. She started to come and degrade us at the practices. It didn't matter who was around. She made it be known that we were practically worthless. Not worthless, but we were slow. We didn't mean anything. We were only there to get a husband. Mind you, like, sure, some of the guys was cute, but like a husband at that school, no. It was just like bad on both parts. It was physically taxing and then it became mentally taxing. If we confided to her in the past, she would bring it up against us. The coach also was controlling in the fact that I couldn't do anything. If she heard that I was hanging out with even like my teammates, she would be like, why? Like, in cussing too, she'd be saying like all these things, saying that I don't care about the sport because I'm out here with my teammates, of course, that I'm doing bad things, blah, blah, blah. There's people smoking and doing terrible stuff. It's like, you're worried about me hanging out with my teammates. Another thing she would try to control is I cook and I would sell the food sometimes. Now, I've always been the type of person, like my family, I cook in large amounts. So no matter what, like, I be cooking big amounts and I'm just one person, it's not going to fill me up. She told me that I cannot cook because I was standing on my feet. Like, literally all she wanted us to do was lay in bed, go to practice, and come see her, do our schoolwork, go to class, blah, blah, blah. And then that's it. Like, that's all our life was supposed to be. And yes, like as a student athlete, you are supposed to stick to school, you're supposed to stick to athletics. But that is such a draining lifestyle to only do those things. And how she was trying to nitpick every aspect of my life, it was not healthy and it was very controlling. A little bit of it, and I'm probably not going to say like everything because like I said, this isn't fully to bash anybody, but just to say like everything I went through. So I was in fall, and with training, it's like you can't be too hard on yourself with training because fall, you know, preseason is always going to be hard. So while it was like starting to get bad, like the signs were there, it wasn't it wasn't as bad as it was going to get. January comes, it's indoor season. Woo! I did end up getting a dog. Like, that dog was like my support dog, really. But she's no longer with me. Love you, baby Cleo. That's besides the point. January is when indoor season starts. Indoor season, it started out okay. In leading up to indoor conference, and indoor conference was like the lowest points of that year for me. It was in our team meetings, she would always give a rant about us disappointing her. Basically, that's what the rants would be about. And this was done in front of the whole entire team. The whole entire team. Nobody really stopped it. It was just done. Like, you know, it was just, hey, this is how it is. So we were just talked about like dogs, almost like dogs, and just degraded in front of our whole team. And it was a constant thing. She'd be yelling at us at practice, and then she'd talk about us at the team meeting. So it was like, it was not letting up, y'all. So that's how it was going. And After the start of indoor season, like the performance just never got better. I wasn't in control of my body. Things weren't going as they should be. My form looked totally different. Like it's never looked like that before. So it's just like something is off here. Like this isn't me. This isn't how I run. I'm not getting better. Like this is the worst I performed. I've never run these times. Like what is going on? It was mainly a landslide in my own personal races, mainly in the 400. Like I got out I got out pretty okay and it wasn't enough. And then like my body just went like dead. Now I also did the 200 at a conference and it was okay, but I was placed in a heat with nobody good. So I didn't even run good in that. The 200 was better. Like I was kind of running better, like form wise, not form wise, but I was running faster than I was in my 400. We got to the 4x4. She pulls us out after we all ran our individual races, and we've been hearing like she's not happy with us, and it's like, okay, like obviously I'm not happy with myself. This is the worst I've ever run, so how can you tell me something else? We are in the complex for conference, and she proceeds to yell at us in the meet. And sometimes you'll see other teams where their coach is going off, but you'll probably think like, oh, that won't be me. It was us in that moment. I'm not going to say like all the words that she said. She was disappointed and upset that her methods were not working out as she had planned, basically. My family was there and they had seen me. And so I broke down like during that because it was after the coach had reprimanded us in front of everybody. So my parents had seen me and it's just like all the walls that I was carrying came crumbling down and I was finally realizing this isn't okay. And my parents said, you do not seem like yourself. Like you seem like a dull version of yourself. You've never ran like this before. You look tired in your running. You look tired in your face. And they were just like, you don't look like the daughter we gave off to the school basically. That moment I knew things had to change. I still stayed there. I stayed throughout the spring, the outdoor season. It never got better. Like all of my races, it just seemed like there was a block and I couldn't get past it because in practices we were so like ran down and nothing was changing. I had sent a text message to the coach after that moment. So I had texted the coach. I said, I'm done being treated like this. Let me go to another group. Like, I can't do this anymore. And I was begging my old coach to like let me come back to be coached by him. But it didn't work out that way. Other coaches there that I could have been with. I did not have to be with her. I did not have to continue to get belittled, beat down, not beat down, like there was no hands laid. She'd say like the rudest things, like craziest things, and then try to come back and say something motivational because maybe she thinks that's okay. But it's like the damage is already done. The apology needs to be as loud as the disrespect. We're in spring. I couldn't change. I couldn't leave the group. I wasn't ready to leave yet. I just had to stick it out, see if things could get somewhat better, see if I could improve my times and go somewhere else. The coach, she began to come to practices in the spring, not really trying to coach, just in a as if she was tired of dealing with us and we were an affront to her. So that's like how practices were. So we didn't even really want to be there to be coached by her. And she started coming to practice as if we were doing something to her. That's how practices were for a hot minute. And people like when they saw like how she was acting, they come up to us and be like, is she okay? And we just be like, we don't know, but at least she's not yelling at us. During that time, she wasn't coaching. She said, if y'all don't want to listen, then I'm not going to care. I'm going to take a step back. And she did that. That kind of will wrap up like everything with the coach. And now I'm just getting to how it kind of affected me. I did end up transferring in May or June, I believe. I waited for a while. We didn't make it to nationals. Regionals was terrible, absolutely terrible for me. Outdoor conference was also terrible for me. Well, outdoor conference was a little wee bit better. Like I talked to somebody else and they helped me figure things out. So I got a little bit better, but it still wasn't enough because I was being coached by somebody who wanted her way to work and didn't really care how badly it was affecting me. During the spring is when I had the worst grades of my life because I was going through all this, and at this point, like, I had finally realized things weren't okay. So I was breaking down every day, like after practice. I was breaking down after meets. I was just crying, crying, crying. Thankfully, I had my dog, but like, it was a sad time. Secluded myself from friends. Basically, I didn't really want to be around the team that much either because it's like I'm going through something and it just doesn't seem like there's a way out almost. So I secluded myself in a way. I wasn't as open anymore with people. Like, I just, took my personality, everything back. I was doing things that I didn't normally do myself, like in the relationships that I was having. Other people began to fill in where some of my usual friends weren't there. And so, yeah, it was like a lonely period. It was like a sad time. And it's just like going through the motions daily. I didn't talk to anybody about it at that time. I kept it inside all that time. And I didn't address it until I began to transfer. With me transferring, I transferred late. It wasn't that many options for me. So I just went where I could. Basically, it ended up being Texas Tech. With Texas Tech, that was even like the best experience, but this is not about Texas Tech. I mean, the trauma that I experienced with this coach this first time that has had like a big impact on my athletics, my performance, like everything. I was asked to come back to the school, but I had told them that I didn't want to come back if I'd still be coached by the lady. They came back to me and said that the lady, she stated she was going to coach me. Like, she was like, yeah, she can't go anywhere. She's going to be coached by me, basically. She didn't want anybody else to coach me, but you've been claiming all this time that I'm such a strain on who you are as a coach. I don't do what you say. I don't listen to you. All this stuff, but you don't want to let me be coached by anybody else. It's not clicking. After that, I was like, I'm done. And then they came back again and said, you know what, we're rescinding everything. And I'm just like, okay, like, we've already addressed this, like, it's done. I don't talk to the lady, but she ended up getting promoted after I left, and some of the other girls in my group left. She ended up getting promoted. Now there's somebody else, another individual. I was in contact with him and I told him the story, and I was like, it was not just tough coaching. I told him about everything. Like, he pulled me aside acting like he cared. That's the thing that got me. He acted like he cared. Like, if you know, it's not who you think, but he switches up how he acts. And they insisted that it was just hard coaching, good old school coaching, but it wasn't that. It was trauma. It was emotional abuse. It was all that. You are breaking down girls, like some of us just turning 20. You're breaking us down on the daily. You're not giving us workouts to make us better. Like, something's wrong, and it's not all of us. I wasn't the type of person to disrespect anybody, calling them out their names or anything like that. But other people, they did, go back and forth with her. So that, that's them. That's them. That wasn't me. Especially if she was getting on one of the other girls more, I step up for them because it's like, that's not necessary. She doesn't deserve that. For me, I just take it like, sometimes I'm not gonna lie, because it's easier for me to fight for other people. That's just how I've been. Yeah, that's basically my experience. Now all of y'all know my story. I got through it. I can't let that experience make me a negative person, because I don't want to be a negative person. I don't want to be a hater almost. I want to look to the good in life and good in things. See the good in people still. I want to trust others. And I know that all systems are not bad, but in my case, I do wish I had a coach that truly cared about me, truly cared about my progression, because I haven't seen that. There was a coach truly for me, helped me to become like the athlete that I wanted to be, and did not bring me down, and somebody that I can go back and talk to. They just show their true colors. They only care about you when you do for them. Outside of that, they do not care. I just wanted to drop this because it needs to be addressed. Like, I can't go on letting people think like everything was so good. And obviously, like, if you followed like my track career, you probably would have known like, hey, something's off with her. That's like what's going on. Real things are sometimes, and everything isn't perfect, because I may portray it to be perfect sometimes, and I don't want to do that, knowing how bad it got for me. Athletes should know, like, if you're going through something, you need to say something and speak up. Don't just leave and not address it. Be loud. Be loud, because they were loud in how they did you. So don't let up on anything. Take care of yourself. I truly just wish I was more selfish. I wish I wasn't people pleasing, because for the longest, before I realized something was wrong, I thought I had did something wrong, or, this is just what I need to get better. I just didn't want to accept some people were bad or didn't care for me. So I just accepted things and went with it, because I didn't want to hurt them. I didn't want to disrespect them, regardless of what they did to me. This is not everybody's experience. This is my own experience, but it does need to be said, because if you're coming into the NCAA, a lot of things can happen. Like, you're growing up to be an adult, and you just have to be aware of when things happen, to go to somebody, or like keep your friends. Like, don't push them away. Don't push them away like I did. Don't go down like a bad path. Really, like, the path I went down wasn't as bad. It's going to be hard to not go down there, because like, I didn't realize I was going down it. But stick close to your friends. If you have your faith, rely on your faith. Don't lose who you are. You just matter. Like, you are not your sport. You are not what these people say about you. It's important you know you are valued, because I didn't fully realize that, and I let others dictate who I was. A lot of systems need to change in order for things like this to not happen. Truly, it's not the systems, it's the people. The people need to be evaluated. People make up these systems, and they are what make the systems bad. Now, trust and believe there are some systems that are just made wrong, as we all know. My experience is not the same experience for the other people that I went to school with. My experience won't be what yours will be. A lot of things can change. I'm saying a lot, but like, everyone's experience is different. This is not to scare you. But before I close this out, there is something that I want to talk about. So like I said, I've always been a shy girl. With that, I'm also a dark-skinned woman, as we see. I'm a dark-skinned woman, and when people see a dark-skinned woman who is shy, it's almost worse than them being confident and loud. Because when a black person, I would just say a black person, is shy and reserved, you're not accommodating to how people believe you should act. You are giving out stuck up or rude. And they don't like that. They don't like seeing people who don't want to speak to them. And it's not that I never wanted to speak to people. I'm just reserved in how I act publicly. Really, in all honesty, like, in my head, I'm probably like going through millions of different things, but I can't like come out and say it, because I'm scared of how it'll come out. Being shy, it did play a part, because one, people feel like they can treat me any type of way. Two, I was trying to come out of my shell. When I'm shy, you don't like it because I'm giving out stuck up or rude. And then when I'm starting to become who I want to be, like talking more and being more confident in who I am, it's bad, because it's like I'm getting too prideful in myself. I feel like that did play a part in it, and like, that's a larger discussion, so I don't want to go fully into it, because of how like deep, like, I can write a thesis about that, honestly, because like, that's been my life. People, they will see me like at meets, and I've gotten better, like at meets, like I'll be like, hey girl, like, how you doing? And like, I'll laugh, like if they're making a joke, I'm gonna laugh too. Like, I've gotten better in that aspect. But if I'm just walking, it's just straight face. I have a resting face. It's bad. But I'm just not the type of girl that's gonna smile. People don't like that. I've never really gotten it, because it's like, if you just talk to me, you would probably see that I'm not somebody who's just rude or stuck up. I mean, I may be like a little bit conceited. I may be. But I've never fully been stuck up and rude. Like, I like talking to people. I like getting to know people, but people, they see me at face value, and they judge me. And mind you, some people, they probably don't even know like what their side comments mean to somebody. But I hear it. I hear what you're saying, and you're saying you don't like me, like, just from passing by. I'm probably like, don't even know like if I'm doing something that's rude to you, but you're judging me off of one moment that you see me in, while I'm dealing with a world of stuff you don't even know. and you're judging me for not smiling, not knowing everything I'm going through. Don't judge people. Don't judge a book by its cover. Everything that I've been through has built me into this woman. There probably is another shift in my life that needs to be addressed, but I wanted to address this first because I never talked about it, and people just don't know like what I went through. So I'm letting y'all know now. Thank you so much for staying, because it's a long, sad talk. Thank y'all. And if y'all already made it this far, y'all might as well like, comment, and subscribe, all that. I'm just glad that y'all could be here with me, and I'm also glad that I can get through this story without crying. Okay, I made it through. I made it through the experience as well. Honestly, like every year of college, like I was going through something, but this was probably like the biggest defining moment of my collegiate experience. If this does happen and blow and do something crazy, please don't go looking out for the people that I've talked about in this. It's already happened, it's been done. I've addressed it, I've forgiven. Things are what they are at this point. Like, I don't want the fire lit again. I've laid it to rest. The deal is to fully put it to bed, but you're starting to see the signs of this. You can reach out to me and talk to me, and we can figure out like whatever your options are. But this is to be a proactive and to let people know they are not alone, because I truly felt alone. I didn't want to talk to anybody. You don't have to do that. Don't keep it inside, because it ends up hurting you so much. You will hold in repressed feelings. Do not do that. I can go on and on about my life, like all the stories. Like I said, freshman year, crazy. If y'all want that, I could do that. Actually, I probably can't do that. Chris, so much for being here with me. Well, I don't know when I'll be back, but I hope to see y'all again, like, cause y'all just heard me, like, I poured out everything basically, so definitely come back for more. Until next time.